Alright, try running as fast as you can. Pause for 3 seconds. This is what it looks like when given the same instruction. If someone doesn't know the proper way to use their feet, they'll end up at a huge disadvantage in life because despite trying hard, their speed is slow. Or maybe even because they're trying so hard, their speed actually gets slower. Physical fitness test. These days I think it's called POPs. It was the same when I was a kid during sports day. If you were good at running, you were the object of everyone's admiration. Those friends who were good at it probably knew, even if unconsciously, the principle I'm going to talk about today. That's why they were admired and envied by their friends. Most people weren't like that, including me, of course. Even though I tried like crazy, I think I only managed to run 50 meters in about 13 seconds. That's how it was for me. So after running, I'd get teased and my confidence would drop. I feel like as we grow up, this even ends up shaping the direction of our lives. In the world of men, especially starting from elementary school, soccer is really important. When you play soccer, how fast you can move your feet and how well you use your body, including your feet, really matters. If you can master this, you can feel yourself getting unbelievably fast. Your performance in games also improves dramatically. Once you develop speed and agility like this, your confidence will rise and it will become a turning point that can completely change your life. I wanted to overcome this kind of complex, so after I turned 20, I started learning how to run. People would say, why bother learning that? You just do it. Or, you have to start young to get better. It's way too late now. And how will you really get faster just by doing it? I did hear things like that, and since there are so many people who are good at sports, I never achieved records or skills worth bragging about, but I think I did manage to run at least above average. And actually, it wasn't just that I ran hard, I kept thinking, how can I run better? How can I make myself run well? I really spent a lot of time studying and thinking about that. So rather than just being good at running myself, I think my strength lies in helping others get faster, just like I did. So how fast do you run? What qualifications do you have? If you're someone who thinks that way, you can just leave. In the end, what matters is the practical result. If you watch this video and follow along, you'll definitely get faster. I'm explaining how to get faster at running in a total of 10 steps. In this video, I'll show you how to move quickly in all directions, forward, backward, left, and right. And this will be the final part of this series. You'll understand even better if you watch the previous videos first, but even just watching this one will let you instantly gain a crazy speed that's totally different from before, so I've prepared it that way. So make sure to watch until the end. But what's even more important is putting it into practice. I hope you'll definitely try out everything shown in the video and share your results as well. Alright, then let's officially get started with the video. What should you do to get faster? A lot of people come to me with that kind of frustration. I could give a long speech for 2 or 3 days right on the spot, but if I had to sum it up in one sentence, I'd say you need to use your feet well. There are actually a lot of people who try hard to get faster, but still remain slow. When you look at how those people use their feet, this posture is the most typical. When you notice someone impressive and watch how they run, this is the posture they have. If you compare these two postures side by side, if you look closely from the perspective of how the feet are used, you'll notice the difference. When you pause right before the foot leaves the ground and compare, you can see the difference, right? You might be thinking, isn't this posture wrong? If we take a closer look at why this difference in posture leads to a difference in speed, you can see that right before the foot leaves the ground, the toes are bent quite a lot. And it's not just the feet we should be looking at. We need to examine the entire leg that's connected to the foot. There's a difference in the angle between the leg and the ground. On this side, it's positioned more horizontally, while on the other side, it's closer to vertical. Ultimately, the question is where we need to go. We're not trying to jump high into the air. We need to move forward quickly. To do that, we have to push the ground backward more forcefully with our legs. If you run like this, the more force you use, the more your body will be lifted upward, and you might actually become slower than if you relaxed and ran comfortably. Now, let's look at the principle behind the second posture. If you remember the principle I mentioned earlier, you'll understand it right away. In this posture, the leg is almost perpendicular to the ground, but in this one, the leg is horizontal to the ground, So you shouldn't just assume that the posture where the leg is closer to vertical to the ground is slower. This is actually a bit of a trick. If you look at the direction the leg is extended right now, it's actually pushing the ground forward. So when you step on the ground like this, your body actually slows down. That's because of ground reaction force. As I mentioned earlier, you barely manage to propel your body forward by pushing the ground backward, but then your leg acts in a way that slows you down again. It's not just the direction your leg is facing that slows you down. It's also related to how you use your feet. When you land on your heel, the muscles at the front of your shin end up doing most of the work. On the other hand, if you land on the front part of your foot, you actively use the muscles in your sole and your calves. That's because the strength in these areas is especially important for generating propulsion. So, to run faster, you must land on the front part of your foot. But that doesn't mean you should run with your heels lifted really high like this, because that'll actually slow you down. In moderation. Honestly, in moderation is the hardest thing to explain, but just enough that you wonder, did my heel even touch the ground? Or was that it? That's about how much you should be using your feet. Alright, good. Now for those of you thinking, if I just do this, I'll get faster. For example, if you're taking a test like the shuttle run or playing sports like soccer, when you actually try running using this technique, you might feel like, oh, using my feet this way does make me a bit faster. But then, why am I still slow? You might feel this kind of contradiction. I felt the same way. When I played tennis, I was definitely running faster than before, but I was still slow. What I've explained so far is simply about running forward quickly. But what about when you're playing sports? You might have to move sideways or backwards or run forward and then suddenly turn around and run back. In this way, speed and agility in various directions are absolutely necessary. There are also plenty of situations where you have to suddenly stop while running forward. But even people who know how to run fast, when they try to stop suddenly while running quickly like this, and since they can't stop well in the first place, they end up not running fast to begin with, or they run in an awkward posture. They can't stop properly and it feels unstable too. In that kind of situation, do you think you could suddenly turn around and run the other way or run to the side? Of course not. No matter how fast you're running forward, as long as you know the proper way to use your feet, you can come to a sudden stop just like slamming on the brakes in a car. That's the only way you can reliably make a pause, take a shot, or do anything like that. This is the exact posture I showed you at the beginning of the video. This is the posture where you were running unstably, and this is the posture when you stop quickly after running forward at high speed and change direction rapidly. If you look at the difference between these two postures, you can clearly see a difference in how the feet are used as well. The characteristic of the unstable and slow stopping posture is that the front part of the foot is touching the ground and the direction is almost vertical. On the other hand, when you stop suddenly and sharply, the heel is touching the ground and the direction is parallel to the surface. If you recall the guidance I gave earlier about direction, this is also not hard to understand. The foot stretched forward pushes the body backward, so it allows you to stop your body, which was moving forward all of a sudden. And it's not just about the direction. The time between when the heel touches down and when the front of the foot makes contact, compared to when you land only on the front of your foot, this actually takes quite a bit longer. So because your foot supports the ground for a longer period, it naturally becomes more stable. And if you look at the running posture right now, it's not just about coming to a sudden stop. It doesn't end there. You actually turn your body a full 180 degrees and then start running again. So in this situation where you stretch your heel forward and plant it firmly, the following steps are also extremely important. If we analyze those motions in detail, in a slow and unstable posture, the heel is lifted and only the front part of the foot is used to push off the ground. After the body has fully turned, you bend forward sharply and only then do you try to accelerate and run faster. But if you look at how it looks when you change direction quickly and smoothly while running, right after pushing off the ground with the heel, the body already needs to accelerate again, meaning it's twisted sharply backward. You can see that as you stretch your leg forward to push off, then push off with the next foot, a natural posture is created where the upper body leans forward, just like at the start of a 100-meter sprint. The way the feet are used at this moment, you really need to know this well, but honestly I feel a bit reluctant to just give this away. I usually cover this in my paid classes. Well, never mind, I'll just share everything here. You need to step and push off while twisting your foot well in two different ways. If you look at the movement of the foot after stepping on the ground with your heel, are you still stepping on the ground with your heel here? No, you're not. Next, when you try to change direction, let's zoom in a bit more and take a closer look while we talk about it. Okay, can you see where my foot is stepping? The two feet are showing slightly different patterns. Here you can see that I'm pushing off the ground with the front part of my foot, especially near the big toe. On the other side, if you look at how the foot lands, you can see that I'm pushing off the ground with the outer side of my foot near the little toe. Alright, now we've covered everything. When you need to run fast, it's important to use the front part of your foot, especially the strength of your toe. Another key point is to land on the front part of your foot when stepping properly. And when you need to stop quickly, you should plant your heel on the ground and forcefully kick your leg forward to come to a stop. When moving sideways, it can vary depending on the situation. You might push off the ground mainly with the inside part of your big toe, or conversely, actively use the outside part of your foot near the little toe. This changes depending on the situation. If you can't use them appropriately according to which direction you need to move in each situation, not only will your feet slip and make you feel unstable, but you also won't be able to generate proper speed. To put it from a slightly different perspective, the parts of your foot that make contact are all different, right? The fact that they're all different means there are just as many muscles in your feet. There are more than 10 different muscles, in fact. Whether those muscles are balanced or not is also extremely important. But there are actually quite a lot of people whose balance is off. Especially with shoes like dress shoes that you wear for style, you probably wear them often. As a result, there are really many people whose foot function has deteriorated. So this is how it feels when you use this part of your foot. By sensing that feeling and then strengthening the muscles of your foot appropriately by area based on that sensation, you'll be able to apply the methods I talked about today much more effectively. I'll show you foot strengthening exercises you can do for each area using just your body weight, so I hope you'll definitely give them a try. First, let's learn how to use the front part of the foot and try some strengthening exercises for it. Stand facing a wall and lean your body forward at about a 45-degree angle. Lift your heels and support your weight on the front part of your feet. So this is how your toes bend. As you feel the sensation in your toes, try to notice the strength coming up from the sole of your foot to your calf. Even just holding this position, you'll feel the muscles in your sole and calf working. If this is enough for you, you can simply alternate your feet and hold the position slowly. For those who feel they can handle more, in this position, cross your legs. It's not just about simply switching the position of your legs. Push the ground firmly with your feet, so much so that you can actually hear a thumping sound. But if you do it too forcefully, it could strain the plantar fascia on the sole of your foot, so please adjust the intensity appropriately. Next, we're going to experience the sensation of planting your heel on the ground when you suddenly have to stop while running forward. It's simple. While standing, support yourself using only your heel. Lift your toes up high, while keeping your toes raised so that they form as large an angle as possible with the ground. Try walking forward. The main muscle involved here is the tibialis anterior, located at the front of your shin. As you walk, check to see if you can feel this muscle engaging properly. Next, we're going to try walking sideways. Keep your gaze straight ahead and spread your feet wide to the side. Make sure your toes are also pointing straight ahead. First, lift the leg on the side you want to move toward, then the opposite foot. Support your weight on the big toe side of that foot and push the ground outward. Your body will naturally move to the side. You should be able to feel the strength coming from the sole of your foot, moving up to the lower part of your calf and deep into the inner side of your calf. Once you get used to walking slowly like this, try moving at a faster pace as if you're running. You've probably seen this at least once before. Athletes from all kinds of sports do this a lot as well. This will also greatly help improve your performance. The last one is simple too. We're going to walk sideways. Imagine a small circle in your mind. Turn your body to the side and try walking along the circle, especially the foot that goes to the inside of the circle. If you're turning to the left, it's your left foot. If you're turning to the right, then it would be your right foot. You should walk while putting most of your weight on the outer edge of that foot, near the little toe. If you can't properly support your weight on the little toe side when turning your body sideways to change direction, you'll feel unstable and won't be able to pick up speed. If you feel like this is pretty easy, then for those of you who feel that way, try running lightly at a slightly faster speed and with a larger radius. Gradually increase your speed, making sure to control your body so it doesn't shoot off in a straight line, and lean your body enough so you stay within the circle as you run. This is how you use the front, inside, outside, and back of your foot evenly. If you build up your muscle strength and use the correct part of your foot according to the situation while running, your speed and agility will improve dramatically. With balanced foot muscle strength, your risk of injury will also decrease significantly. So when performing each of these movements, where are you placing your foot? I've explained these key points to you. If you pay attention to which part of your foot you should be stepping on depending on the situation and apply this well when you run, you'll notice changes that you never felt before when you used to run without thinking and just exerting a lot of effort. Hey, what have you been up to lately? You've gotten so much faster. You'll also feel your confidence soar as you sense the envious looks from others. In this video, we talked about how to use your feet. Through these small puzzle pieces, we explored how you can become faster overall. It's not enough to just have fragmented pieces of information. To get faster, you need to understand the whole picture. From the underlying principles to specific methods and even feedback on putting them into practice, I guide you through everything so you can truly get faster. For more details, please check the pinned comment. Thank you for watching the video until the end.